Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, I'm Angeline from Business Development in ARTC. So ARTC is a research institute under A-Star. We develop high-value manufacturing technology to enhance the competitiveness of Singapore's manufacturing capabilities. For today's webinar, we are covering the topic on intelligent inspection for digital manufacturing. So our intent is to give a course overview, content, the schedule, as well as funding and registration for this webinar. Okay, so at any time, if you have any questions, please type your questions in the Q&A box, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, or raise your hand, press the raise hand button, and your host will invite you to speak during the Q&A sessions only. Okay, so if you have any questions along the way, please do take note and leave them at the end during the Q&A session, and we will address those. Okay, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce Simon Chin. So Simon is our Senior Development Engineering in Intelligent Product Verification Group in ARTC. He will take you through more of the course overview as well as the contents.
Okay, thank you, Angeline. Let me share the slides. Okay, this course is actually headed by Dr. Wang Zhenbiao. He's actually having another important meeting at this moment. So I will be representing him into giving this a pack of introduction. So basically the whole entire course will actually covered by 4 persons, Dr. Wang, me, myself, and Naveen, as well as Hui Chen. So the course is actually carried over across a couple of days, 3 days, and with a different time slots that we are actually scheduled for the training session. So maybe we can move on to the course content to understand further. The key person who will be working on this is, as I mentioned, Dr. Wang will head these courses. He's actually very experienced in leading our team, our development in terms of machine vision, as well as the deep learning inspection solution that we have working all around the industry for 8 years' time. For me, myself, I'm actually from the industry where dealing with all the machine vision system development and deployment over the past long time of 16 years. Naveen is actually the more or less the research person who actually dive into neural network, all the details about deep learning, neural network models and handling. And the last person would be Hui Chen. She's actually our core person who is working with all the data handling in terms of machine vision managing. So all the labeling data, all the information about data managing will be handled by her in most of our deep learning AI project that we have deployed. So 4 of us will head on these courses to give everyone's idea about how do we implement the machine vision solution by utilizing the deep learning solution. Okay. So in the course, we will be targeting to answer a couple of key questions that commonly asked, especially if you are from different background, you are from different level, as well as you are engineer, they are not an engineer, for example, management. We all need to know about what is image-based inspection, because when we talk about inspection in terms of vision inspection, then you need to understand the image-based inspection in an overview manner, as well as a little bit into the basic, as well as the importance about this category of the information. So the next thing would be, for example, pro and cons about these technologies. What would be the limitation about the conventional system that we have versus the existing deep learning AI solution that the world is talking about. Yeah, so all this information will be briefed and also introduced, as well as talk about the key pointer on the details about what are the key information on all these AI-based vision inspection. So forward will be the technology implementation how do we really implement this solution? Perhaps our team, all of us have been working a couple of implementation around our ecosystem, where all these solutions are being implemented. So we have so-called solid proof about what we have done, and then we can actually share our experience throughout the whole course, and also give understanding about the pro and cons, and then what are the limitation, and what are the impact, and what are the performance that we can achieve throughout the whole implementation of this AI cycle. Okay. So the first section that we are heading on would be actually to understand, to let you all have an understanding about what is rule-based image processing machine learning, as well as the machine learning. There is two categories of information here. The first category is about the old conventional methods of how do we perform the vision inspection, which I have been going through for the past maybe at least 10 years time. And then the reason 6 years time when the AI and machine learning start to introduce, so how this conventional machine vision can be transitioned into the AI base. So how do we improve the results and the input of the inspection by utilizing the AI, so-called the technologies merge into this industry, so that we can perform much better and much easier, or I would say much handle more complex solution in this case. So we will be briefing you with the solid example, with also Python codes to prove that it is actually doable by both conventional and machine learning. So how does this differentiate between the two? So you have a better idea about how actually it's being implemented. So the next one would be the hardware introduction, where how the GPU, when we talk about AI, we always heard about GPU, and now they are even DPU or TPU, so many things that come around, and then when we have no clue about what are they, it sounds very innocent to us. So that's why throughout this course, we would like to brief, and we would like to not just introduce the importance about the GPU, but also the insight information about how GPU actually process the data, and how does this GPU impact in terms of doing the training portion. So you have a much more deeper understanding about how the data actually works inside the GPU, instead of just knowing that, oh, GPU is just a parallel processing. It's not that. So we will be briefing more details about this. So the next section of the information will be to understand the principle about deep learning. So when you talk about deep learning, a lot of people will think that, oh, deep learning is a magic, you just like a human, you can learn everything. But in fact, it depends on how you think on AI. Sometimes AI can be very stupid. Okay, it could be very database driven. So when you attend to this course, you will be able to know what exactly going behind the scene of this AI and the principle of this deep learning. So that is the core that we want to brief on your side. So training and evaluation, preparation, training and evaluation, these are the cycle. When we implement a deep learning solution, we will need to go through all these cycle, how to prepare the data, how to get the training to train the models, and how to evaluate the models, and how to train, and also check whether we have the right model, and to address the right information that we want to have the outcome, whether is it the right outcome or not the right outcome. So all these cycle, we will be briefing you how does we actually implement it, in real world. The next one will be more in-depth into this research and also the network system. This would be a little bit more deeper in terms of AI. So if you are a very surface understander, maybe this will be a bit deeper for you, but there will be always good to know more about what this in-depth knowledge about the model creation, and what are the network systems that are available in the market. So you will know that in a very quick manner, what are the typical solutions that we can make out of this available solution, or maybe not available solution that in the market, so far. So these are the typical example. We will give some typical example about what would be the training, what are the AI are contributing into different industry, how does this AI works in different industries, how does what are the inspection that we are doing over all these different industries. So we will be briefing on this. Over here, there will be also a vendor, JMB Stack, will be helping us to introduce Neuracle AI software. Why Neuracle is because this is actually a commercial license AI software. So you can also know about if you want to deploy a solution based on the off-the-shelf software solution, there is exactly a solution for you. And then from here, you can understand roughly how does the commercial AI software works and whether or not it is suitable for your consideration in future as well. Okay. And last one would be the benefits to us as well as the benefit to the company that you are holding. For example, you can understand better about what are the deep learning or AI that maybe the whole world is mentioning about. And then you have some hands-on experience that you can actually try on some ways to perform the training, as well as the discussion about the potential case that we can deploy, and how do you think that what are the issues that you are intending to solve? Are we able to help you to give you some insight information about how does we actually will like to go about tackling this kind of solution? So there could be an open discussion that we can go about the whole session inside this session. So the last one would be the develop the deep learning models. These are the capability that you can acquire throughout the course, that you can, at the end of the day, you can train a model that can be used in your production solution, for example. So that is actually will be included in this session. To the company level, I think the most important is that we can help the whole company or our company to advance by implementing or incorporating AI solution into our existing production or maybe a corporate level workforce. So that will bring in the knowledge and the technology to the team, to your team, or to your whole entire organization. If you are planning to do that, that would be a great benefit to this. Okay, so who should sign up for this course? I think we are trying to target not too deep into in terms of, like, for example, we won't be teaching you how to do coding, right, to perform this AI solution, or how to have a very details gone through the whole session to spend all the deployment knowledge. We won't be going to that deep, but we won't be not going through this kind of scenario as well. We will be going through some basic flow, and then we will debrief you about how do we actually go about doing a project, AI project, and then that will actually included here. So if you are a quality control manager, or you are a CEO, or you are engineer, I think it's a common knowledge that you can acquire throughout the course, and to get to know what can you actually do and what can you learn deeper into a certain direction after this. Yeah, so I think, yeah, we would like to discuss with you if you have a further question. I think Angeline, can I pass it back to you? Yeah.
Yes, sure. Hi. So I think Louis will then now share with the audience what is the schedule, the methods of registration, as well as the funding opportunities for this course.
Thanks, Anjali. Okay. Hi, everyone. Okay, hope you enjoyed the short introduction by Simon on the actual course itself. So I would like to go to the next slide to share with you more on the actual cost of the course itself. Perhaps we can go into the next slide, please. Okay, thanks. So the actual course will be in about a month's time, on the 22nd to 24th of June. So this is a 3-day course. It will be held it's a 1-day course between 9 to 6 p.m. held physically in the Advanced Remanufacturing and Technology Center, where we are currently based in CleanTech. So please do register your interest to sign up for this course. You can see in the form here as well as the QR codes at the bottom. So I'll go into the next slide in terms of the actual cost of the course. So as you see, this course delivered by Simon, this is actually a SkillsFuture accredited course. So that means the course in the boxes you see here for the 3 category of participants, they will be eligible for 90, 70 or 90% funding. So maybe I walk you through it. So international participants will pay for the full course fee of $2,054. For those that are Singaporean citizens, younger than 39 years or younger, or your permanent residents or your long-term visit pass holders, they will be eligible for 70% course fee funding, which is actually they pay that remaining only 30%, which is actually $616.32. So this includes your GST. For Singaporean citizens who are 40 years old or above, as well as Singaporean citizens and PRs that are funded by your small medium enterprise companies to go for this training, they will be eligible for the 90% course fee funding. So that means you will only, or your company will only need to pay for 10% of the full course fee to go for this course. So this is $232.32. Okay, so what you see at the bottom is a explanation of what the Enterprise Training Supports Scheme for SMEs is about, which I have actually shared with you briefly earlier. Okay, so I'll let so this is all about the course dates as well as the course fees. I'll let my colleague Murali share about the upcoming courses that we wanted to take this opportunity to share with you as well. Thanks, Murali.
Yeah, thanks, Louis. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Murali. I'm from ARTC and part of the Knowledge Transfer Office, which is responsible for the training programs that we run out of ARTC. And as Angeline mentioned at the very beginning, our focus is on advanced manufacturing. And one of the unique differentiators, in our opinion, for our training courses is the fact that we have physical assets apart from our expertise in order to provide a value proposition to those who attend our courses. So let me, if I could take a couple of minutes just to share with you the training programs that we do have. These are all SkillsFuture Singapore funded, and as Louis mentioned in the previous slide, what that translates into is that there is funding support for participants in these courses, depending on whether you're Singaporean or PR, or whether you're like me, above 40 years of age. You get, or if you come from an SME, there are substantial subsidies available for these courses. But we have four verticals, sorry. So the first is in digitalization, which kind of reinforces what this is about, although this is mentioned here in highlight. But there are other aspects of digitalization that we've been involved with, and we do have two basic, call them demonstrator factories, a model factory and a hyper-personalization line. So we do run a course on Industry 4 assessment through SIRI, which is the EDB Smart Industry Readiness Index. And we do this with TÜV SÜD. TÜV SÜD is a member of ARTC, but more importantly, they're the ones that actually wrote SIRI for EDB. There is another course in 3D scanning for digital manufacturing, and we've, as an organization, ARTC has done quite a bit of training, irrespective of this particular system of skills future training for members. And we have two that are pure digitalization. One is in the area of supply chain, multi-mile logistics, optimization, and the other one is in augmented reality. To be able to use augmented reality, the primary aim of this would be in the area of maintenance, where an augmented reality guided method would be of quite a bit of value to maintenance personnel. We also have advanced manufacturing processes, and these are primarily in the area of additive manufacturing, 3D printing, as it's generally known as. And we have run quite a few courses in this already in direct deposition. In fact, we have done this overseas as well. And then that's not funded by Skills Future, but we have done this overseas for direct deposition. And we do have 2 machines that do direct deposition 3D printing in ARTC. Similarly, industrial additive manufacturing for practitioners. We just ran one a week ago, slightly more than a week ago. Again, we have a number of machines, and you can see that in all these cases, our aim is to use the expertise that exists with researchers in ARTC to where it makes sense to collaborate with our members, industrial practitioner members, and to support that with physical equipment and demonstrations on our shop floor. The area of robotics, there are 2 specific to ROS. ROS is Robot Operating System, and ARTC is the site for the Asia Pacific chapter. ROS is a consortium model for robot operating open source software, and it resides in ARTC. So we have that, and there are 2 other, well, 3 other systems in autonomous mobile robots, primarily warehousing. It would be its key area, as well as another artificial intelligence for applied robotics. And finally, with the focus now at government level moving towards electrification of vehicles, we do have a couple of courses, but the masterclass is the critical one. We have run that once fairly successfully last quarter. And this is how do you manage electric vehicle risks, managing it. We do that with TÜV Rheinland, who have done this course extensively in Europe over the last 2 or 3 years. So that gives you a flavor of the themes and the verticals in the training we do. As I said, these are all supported by Skills Future Singapore. So they are subsidized to a large extent. And I think on the next slide, we will show you where you can go to our sites. There are QR codes, I think, or maybe we did at the very beginning. I'm sorry. And you can just basically then contact and look at this yourself, and then be able to perhaps push it to your colleagues' attention that such courses exist, and perhaps that could benefit your organizations as a whole. Now, this is specific to the inspection of digital manufacturing, but it will also take you to the sites. You can from there link on to the other sites and look at the other courses as well. With that, I thank you for your attention and pass you to Tom for the Q&A sessions. Tom, over to you. Thanks.
Great. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Murali. Yep, so I'm Tom. I'm actually from the Knowledge Transfer Office. We're here to facilitate the Q&A session. If you have any burning questions that you would like to ask our trainer or the experts from ARTC, feel free to ask either in the Q&A box or the chat box, or you can use the raise hand function, and we can unmute you to facilitate the Q&A session. Okay, right, Simon, I believe I actually want to ask you, you have any examples of successful industry applications from your technology?
Yes, we definitely have a couple of them, which is actually deploying in the production floor. There are different industry. One of them is actually under P&G in the bottling inspection solution. And then we also have another major deployment on this KMT, Kinematal, which have an insert inspection solution. And Zhenbiao is also have some deployment onto this Caesar and Rolls-Royce. Some of them are using 3D and some of them using AI assisted 3D inspection solution as well. About the details, I think we need to know what industry are you referring to, and then maybe we can gather more information about that industry.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Simon.
Yeah, Tom, if I could, that probably will be when they come to the course, we could go into more depth on it. But Simon, you mentioned earlier that you will talk about the traditional method and
Yes.
the deep learning method.
Yes.
What are the differentiators in terms of benefits to a company between using, I mean, for example, obviously there's always, and I come from industry background, money and time.
These are very important questions. To be honest, I have been, as I mentioned to you, through my profile, I have been 16 years so far in this machine vision inspection. Definitely the first 10 years is purely traditional rule-based inspection system. And then I experienced all the tiredness in terms of fine-tuning the parameters, adjusting the threshold, improving the yield by checking image by image. And there is a lot of work involved. And the skills that you require to tackle these issues is high. That means that you need highly qualified person in order to perform this fine-tuning, this improvement, and all these things. So at the end of the day, you could purely rely on vendors. For example, you have to pay them every year to improve your system, or you have to change and revamp to a newer system. That is the old ways. Okay. Now with the new ways, how does this AI come into impact? One of the major way that I can see is AI rely on automated training solution. That means that it's based on data-driven. So when you talk about data-driven, it basically have more labeling data. That means that you highlight the defect area. So by highlighting the defect area, this task itself does not require high-quality engineering work. That means that you can have common operators or some internships people, they can actually help you. Or you have some QA, they can actually assist you to highlight this is good, this is bad. You can easily circle out where are the defects. So when you are able to circle out the defect, there is where the data is. When you have this data, then imagine that there will be an automatic training system in the background that will look at all this data and then give you a final result. We call it a model system. You will generate a model, which is called, you can treat it like a formula. And after you put in all the samples, and then you give you a result, whether it's a pass and fail. So you don't need to matter on, oh, what is the threshold should I set? What should I adjust the length and width of the defect? So there are no more this kind of parameters involved. It's all by training by the GPU, and all the automated system will perform all the tasks by itself. And some more, the last one I want to bring out is that for conventional rule-based inspection system, you will only have parameters. Like for example, you can mention up to 10, 20 parameters. That's all you can set, or you can adjust, or you can play with. But in AI, you can have millions of parameters. And these millions of parameters do not require you to touch on them at all. They will be automatically trained by itself once you have the data input. I think that would be my briefest way to answer this question. Yeah.
Thanks, Simon. That helps.
Thank you so much, Simon. Actually, at the same time, I'd like to launch a poll to find out if everyone here is interested in the program. Do feel free to answer the poll so we understand your interest level and whether we can provide you with more information. Of course, while you're answering your poll, if you have any questions of our experts here, please feel free to drop a question in the Q&A box or do a raise hand function on the chat box. At the same time, I'd like to highlight if you're interested in this program, ARTC can always do a corporate run. What corporate run means is that we can actually cater the training program exclusively to your company. So you will have it exclusively to we can cater the program, the knowledge to your sector, and then we can have, and the funding will still apply. So let's give it another 1 or 2 minutes. If no one has any more further questions. Yeah. So yeah, I believe there's no further questions from our participants today. I would like to thank Simon and Murali, Louis, and Angeline for hosting the session today. And I thank our participants today for attending. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope to see you again next soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.